Hey, I'm Jeff, and I make music with my brother.
Hi, I'm Jonathan, and I also make music with my brother.
Together, we are Echo and Sidetrack, and we make music that sounds like this.
And this.
And even this. This podcast is about music, creativity, and everything in between.
Welcome to A Band Apart with Echo and Sidetrack.
One of the things that I don't like using my legs for, Jonathan, is standing in line.
Especially when it's standing in line for food. You're around other hungry, stressed out people on probably a time limit, and you're all just jostling for position.
And then you got to order and then wait again.
No, I don't want to do that anymore.
Guess what, Jonathan? You don't have to do that anymore, especially when you order a short order. You can just order online and pick it up at whichever store you want to.
That's so convenient.
It's diabolical, and the website works amazingly. Just log on, click on the giant button that says Order Online.
And then when you're all done customizing your order, simply check out, pay for it with a credit card, and then you get told what time you're going to pick it up.
It's so easy. You choose when you get your burger.
You are in control of your own destiny. And when you use this function on the website, you can put in the voucher Echo and Sidetrack, all lowercase, for 10% off your order.
You can also use the code Echo and Sidetrack in store, but I'd rather use it online. That way I can use my time on something else and just roll down there and collect my burger. You be the one to choose whether you eat it in your car or in the privacy of your own home.
So use the order online function on shortorder.com.au.
And if you want to save 10%, use Echo and Sidetrack. Rest assured, it's the best burger in town.
You got that damn right. On Monday, I hurt my back, my neck, my pussy, and my crack. Is that the line? Sorry.
Shout out to Missy Elliott.
I hurt my neck, and I woke up on Monday and I was like, my top half was pretty stiff and immobile. And it made me think of our recent discussion about health scares and how it made me realize, obviously I knew this before, but the spine is so important to life. And if something goes wrong...
I think that's an understatement, to be honest, man.
If something goes wrong in your spine or like your back...
It's spinal.
It impacts everything. Like it was like I was sick. I didn't do much on Tuesday because I was like, I couldn't move.
You're very upright and moving around like some sort of robot or a person in a cast.
It was terrible. And it's, one of those things, like protect your spine. Protect your back, people.
Protect your neck.
Protect your neck.
Yeah.
So that's how my week started.
Yeah, you were walking around a bit like that. I've had mates that have done some pretty serious spinal stuff and got told that they might have to fuse discs and things like that, which is really serious.
Yeah.
Makes you really, really conscious of movements you do when you hurt spines, knees and hips and things like that, because you're like, oh, I use this part of my body in every kind of movement.
Yeah.
And I take it for granted as I twist, turn, dig, dive, dodge.
Yeah.
Everything.
It's like when you cut your hand with a knife, or you get a paper cut, and then you just knock that for the rest of the week.
Yeah,
and
like, what? Damn it, I keep using that part of my finger.
And you never think about it, that you kind of touch this little part of your finger as much as you clearly do.
Yeah. The spine is the...
It's integral. Protect the spine.
Imagine what people would look like without a spine. Like if you had all the other bones in your body but no spine, so there was nothing to keep your, like, you wouldn't have a rib cage then. So it was just like your shoulders and your head
would just
like
be
the top
at your waist.
Neck would be at your waist, and
you'd be really like it'd be like you're on a jelly situation. It'd be so easy to push someone over.
Yeah, and you just had to develop, like, from a child you were like more squid than human, and then it was just part of every human's development. Like, oh, you want to get tall, you've really got to work on your muscles of your body. Like
that was the only way to grow.
That's like core strength, the very definition of core strength. Like, man, that guy's so strong because he's like tall.
He's like a regular person with a spine, but without a spine.
Yeah, he's got no spine. He's more like a worm.
Yeah.
Like, so you go from being a squid into a worm.
Yeah. It's an exciting prospect.
Yeah, imagine making music for those people because they'd probably hear differently because they wouldn't have a rib cage and...
They'd dance better.
They would. I'd love to play music to them.
But they'd fall over all the time, so you'd have to be careful.
But it would be part of their culture that falling over is like, wouldn't even be called falling over. It's like, he's just going down.
Yeah. And they'd probably build like an apparatus of some kind, like a spider person... a personal scaffolding system that would hold you up.
No, do you know what? They'd definitely walk on all fours. There'd be no... It would be about someone as a spineless thing. You would walk around on all fours, and then you would develop muscles, and then
to hold yourself up.
And then you'd be an outlier if you held yourself up.
It'd be like a dog that stands up. You ever seen videos of dogs like walking around like...
Yeah, I saw a video of a dog doing some banking the other day.
What a...
He was trying to catch a bad check. What a dog. No, what am I saying? No, but if we were spineless, we would not be mammals.
Yeah, we would. Having a spine doesn't make you a mammal.
Is it?
Mammals are hair, milk, live birth. Hair,
is a shark
milk.
A mammal?
No. There's a couple of exceptions to the rule.
Okay.
Like platypuses lay eggs, and they're technically mammals, but they lay eggs. And sharks have live birth. And there's others. Warm blood as well.
Yeah.
So like that's why a dolphin is a mammal or a whale.
But a spine isn't integral to the mammalian.
No, because like a lizard has a spine.
Yeah, but is there a spineless mammal?
I know a few.
I just Googled mammal no spine, and there is an article, the first article that comes up that says, what makes a mammal a mammal? Our spine, says scientists. But most mammals are vertebrates, which means that they all have backbones. So all mammals, except sea cows and sloths, have 7 bones in their necks. So I think the spine is pretty integral to
being a mammal.
Because otherwise you'd be an invertebrate, similar to a sponge, or a spider, or a worm.
But other things have spines.
Yeah, I'm saying things that don't have spines.
Yeah.
Like
a squid.
Like these people that I'm talking about. Yeah. So, there we go. We've learnt something today.
What a wild fact. How's your week been? Anything you want to report?
Positive, I would say. Yes. To follow on from last week's visit to the hospital, everything's great.
Clean bill of health.
Feeling good. I think I could have done with some more sleep, but as you know, Jonathan, not the listener, I'm about to tell you about that, dear listener. We're finishing off a new single at the moment, and that means some late nights in the studio and some early nights to get up and go to work and stuff. So maybe I'm a little bit tired, but otherwise feeling positive and buoyant.
I'm really glad that it was a clean bill of health. It was interesting when you were going in. There was part of me that was like, I wasn't focusing on this at all, but there was part of me that was like, Jeff might not ever wake up. You know, people get put under and sometimes don't wake up. That's what happened to Bill Paxton. And I thought, fuck, imagine if he doesn't wake up. Then I'll be able to mix this song however I want and be able to change. No, But I did.
He's Bill Paxton. What does that mean? It means he died in surgery and I can do whatever I want.
He's dead. No, but I did think about what would happen if you died.
Well,
it's not a great outlook.
I think an amazing way to look at collaboration is that if you're collaborating with someone and you're working together, that means obviously you're working together on something. Imagine
the very definition of the word.
Yeah, sorry. Imagine they died. How would you finish the project to honor them as well as get what you want? Like, not in like an honorary way, like I'm going to build a statue around this thing, but how would you finish it so that it still felt like something you'd worked on together? And that's a good way to approach the way you should even work on it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think you should, if you were working, hypothetically one of us died.
Touch wood. That doesn't happen.
I don't know if that was wood. It might have been plexiglass or some sort of asbestos. Yeah, hypothetically, if that happened, I think what you would just be more aware of what the other person's input might be. And usually for us, sometimes we agree on things and sometimes it's we think the opposite thing. So if you were to die and I continued working, which I would do, every instinct I had, I would have to question, what would Jeff do?
Yeah, they've got wristbands for that kind of thing. If you want to grab one, WWJD, just Google WWJD wristbands, and yeah, they're worldwide.
They're pretty popular.
Worldwide. Pretty popular.
So I would, just question decisions and be like, okay, so if I'm making a decision to go to this note, or to use this sample, or to go this place in the breakdown, what would Jeff say? What's the exact opposite, potentially, of doing this? And I'll test that out.
Yeah.
And if that works, I mean, and that would be an interesting way to collab. Or
we should do a song like that. You give me a song, and I pretend you died, and I finish it in your honor, and I give you a song, like a demo, and you do the same for me, and we see...
And try to write with each other's best interests.
Yeah, and then be like... And you don't even have to explain every working move, but it'd be funny to be like...
These are the moments.
Yeah, these are things... I think you do that.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, and that'd be an interesting thing, because it would be interesting to see where we think each other's flavor really comes from. So if, for instance, if you were trying to write a lead like I might write, you might write a bit more biblically. You always think I've got a biblical or a...
and what that means musically is that I think sometimes you enjoy half-step changes in your lead, not full-step changes.
Yeah,
so it's
and probably a couple of more
trills
and challenging notes.
Yeah.
I quite like an incidental.
Yes.
Adds a bit of a Middle Eastern vibe to things. Yeah, it would be interesting to see.
From the Bazaar of Marrakesh.
Yes. That's an interesting exercise. Perhaps
I'd call the song Magic Carpet. And use an Urdu and a sitar. He would have wanted it this way.
What I would do is probably go back to a song. Like if you did die, so you die.
Sorry for them. This is a morbid case.
But I mean, we have to think.
How did I die?
You get... I'd want you to die in a funny way. But an unavoidable way. Like, not like, you made a silly mistake and you got sucked into an escalator. But like...
That would be hilarious. Everyone watching.
Something happened that wasn't
Give me an example.
tragic.
It wasn't tragic. Most deaths are... He died doing what he loved, being fed into a motor.
Like you were laughing and you died from laughing.
Choked on a piece of...
No, because I'd be like, you shouldn't have just... I told him not to laugh. Maybe actually it's less tragic to die. I don't know what you die from. But anyway, I move on.
I'm just trying to add some texture to the story.
Because then I start...
You get the news and then you're like in the studio and you're like, he would have wanted it this way.
I get the news.
Like, yeah.
I stay in the studio.
Sample the Black Hawk Downs.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking. So I get the news and I continue working on music. What I would do is probably go grab your computer and like start writing songs from the demos you'd made, or go back to the old computer and look for songs that you were kind of championing at the time, and I'd try to kind of rebuild those almost like some sort of resurrection.
Or a large bird raising another bird's eggs.
Yeah, exactly. I can't remember what the name for that, but yeah, that's basically
like a penguin that will
raise another penguin's eggs.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I tried to do. And then call the piece of work Resurrection. And it'd be a picture of you on a cross. No, me on a cross looking up and your face like looking down at me approvingly.
But my face looked like the Teletubby's son.
Yeah, like a child.
It's great art.
Yeah, pretty creative in the artistic world.
Sells itself, really.
Yeah.
If you died in a fiery plane crash.
Yeah. Good way to go out. On the way to Hawaii.
With a very large Hawaiian man next to you, and you guys had drank the whole trip, and you'd send me a message being like, this guy's the funniest guy, and you took a photo of a selfie of him, and it's like...
And then I died because he, in the violent turbulence, he crushed me against the seat.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, that's a good way to go. And I got a pina colada in my hand.
Yeah, I would probably grab a bunch of songs, like you said. I think it's a good way to start. And I would also probably create some instruments that are...
From my voice? From voicemails that we've sent each other?
That'd be interesting. I think I'd create some instruments that were very Jono.
Yeah.
And be like, I've got a selection of like tools that still add that flavour to Echo and Sidetrack.
Yeah.
And then I would... probably ask myself the question with a lot of musical moments. I'd be like, what would Jonathan like me to do here? Like, add this extra, a little bit of a challenging chord, or something like that.
Yeah.
And I think that would...
What would you call the album?
The album after your death. Something like...
Wish You Were Here?
I think that's been used before. Not sure. We could look it up though. Maybe He's Not Gone. He's Here With You. I'm Here With You. He's Still Him.
Still Here?
No, actually, do you know what I'd call it? I'd say, let's have a Jonathon, and I'd make it a fucking Jonathon, like a telethon or a runathon. It'd be like, let's have a Jonathon. That's what it would be. It would be a true celebration of...
Let's make a pledge to each other right now that if either one of us die before the other, which will probably happen, the other one has to create a telethon-esque experience and like a foundation in the other person's honor. And that's our non-for-profit. So we have a week every year where we like get donations and do challenges, all
raising money for whatever
killed us.
Yeah. I've got $9,000. We've got $9,000. We've got another caller coming through on this year's Jonathan. And guess what? Stephen's just done 300 laps of the local school park. And we've raised a total of $160,000.
All to stop
Hawaiian people getting on aircraft.
That's a good idea. I'd invest in that.
I've long said you should have a Jonathan. You remember Do you remember the first time I suggested you should have a Jonathan?
Yeah, I do. So in 2012, I was fallen for a girl. I had fallen for a woman, and she was living in London, and I needed to go see her. So I didn't have much money at the time, but I wanted to try to go see her within a short period of time. So I had to raise, a few $1,000s for the plane ticket.
And just like spending money
and spending money and everything. It just meant you could go on a holiday within 2 months or 2.5 months rather than 6. And Jeff had the idea, because I used to want to be a stuntman when I was a child, he had the idea that you could choose a day and you basically choose or get someone to choose 10 or 12 dares for you. And each dare had a certain amount of monetary value to it.
That could be raised or bidded on. So if someone said, like, you're going to cut your hair off and that's worth $100.
Yeah.
But you go, nah, that's worth $300. And people are like, I don't think it is. And you'd like...
And so you'd lead up to this day with the potential of like, you can earn yourself $6,000.
Well, I reckoned it should have been, the total would have been like 10 grand. And there were like 20 things to choose from. And, it's drinking and it's a party and everything. And everyone gets a little bit crazy. And you're just, in the middle being like, ding, 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 ring the bell. All right, it's time for challenge 3.
Yeah.
I'm up to $500. Will you guys give me $500 to do this? Yeah. And the only stipulations were you can't get seriously hurt, you can't be arrested, and there can't be anything that would stop you going on the trip.
Yeah.
But like, a classic would be like, get a kiddie pool, fill it with some crabs, and get in the kiddie pool for 5 minutes.
Yeah, fuck that.
But that's worth money.
I know, but that's why I didn't do it.
But I mean, and then there were more things like, you had to do like a timed challenge until you completed it in a set amount of time, then you lost money or something. Like, there's all sorts of games. But what I was trying to sell it as is like, you invite enough people, you get 150, 200 people there, you play some music, do some things, basically have a party.
$10 on the door.
$10 on the door. You've raised
$1,500.
Yeah. Already, and then you say, bring some money, Jono's going to do some dancing.
It would have been such a great story to do that, then buy the ticket, and then get over there and be like, this is what I did to see you. And I'm so fucking glad I didn't do it because I didn't end up going on that trip.
Yeah, oh man.
And it would have
had some sweet stories, half a finger.
Yeah, I would have had some sweet stories, but it would have been crazy.
I'm glad you didn't go.
Me too. I think that whole situation ended well. Not well at the time. In fact, I've been thinking about it a bit lately. That rippled out and actually caused my next European heartbreak.
Yeah.
In some ways. But everything that happens to you adds to the tapestry that is your life and adds to the person you are. And I wouldn't change it for anything, Jeff.
What's he saying, Gladiator?
What we do in life echoes in eternity.
There you go. Yeah, I wouldn't change it for a goddamn thing.
No, I wouldn't.
I think it's a good point to end this podcast, Jonathan. I think you've made some really astute points.
Sounds great. I think we'll come back next week.
I hope we both come back next week, to be honest. All this conversation.
If this is the last podcast we do together.
Yeah.
It's been a wild ride, listeners.
It's been a wild ride. And I will piece together Jonathan's voice based on chopped elements to continue the podcast. I think I'd just do a one-man podcast, to be honest.
Yeah, or just get someone in and just refer to them as Jono.
Be Jonathan. That's not very Jonathan. Can we be a little bit more Jonathan?
Direct them.
Yeah, they could be an actor.
Yeah.
An actor.
All
right, I love you, real Jonathan.
I love you too, buddy. Let's go finish this single.
Let's do it.
Thanks for listening to this week's podcast. Make sure you subscribe to us on your podcast app and keep up to date with all new episodes. They're going to be coming out once a week. We are Echo and Sidetrack on Facebook and Instagram. On Twitter, we are Echo Sidetrack. Go listen to our music on Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, YouTube, or wherever your ears consume happiness. Lots of love, people.